I haven't got time to mark this motherfucker. Here we go again. We can't hear anybody. Nobody can talk to anybody.
You guessed it, Pressure Points with your two favorite hosts. I'm D, and this is my robed and rugged AJ. We're coming at you with Season 5, Episode 36, Galvarino's Plight. I'll be continuing the mid-16th century history of the Mapuche tribe in Chile. So strap in and find us on Instagram and Twitter at @PointSoPressure. Let's get to it.
Well, turn the fucking thing off, you dumbass.
Your robe has made you more powerful.
It has. It's done phenomenal things.
It's great, right?
Yeah.
Do you wear it all the time? I wear it pretty
not all the
often.
time because I know this thing was expensive as fuck, and I'm like, I don't want to get anything on it. But yeah.
I wear it all the time.
I wear it as often
awesome.
as I can.
This is a robed stream.
It is. AJ has a shirt on underneath his robe like a bitch.
I didn't catch the memo. All right, give me a
I'm
second.
fucking nips out, baby.
Oh, my headphones.
I didn't catch the memo. No, you're okay.
No,
you're
nope.
Okay.
Nope. You mentioned it.
Okay.
Now I gotta fucking
All right.
take off my goddamn shit.
It's fair.
My headphones. So keep talking. Don't sneeze. Don't sneeze.
Oh, I didn't. See, I didn't. Thank you. Yeah. So
I almost brought a cigar.
oh man, that would have been perfect. But I also don't think I would have been.
I don't
like,
want the robe to be
I wouldn't have done
cigar-y.
it, yeah. So my girlfriend gave me a really, really fucking like nice, legit silk robe for my birthday, and ooh-wee, it is magical.
And I had just gotten one from my wife for our anniversary.
Oh, top tier. If you don't have one, fucking get one. These babies are they're nice. They're so nice. Especially when I'm completely nude. That's when it's the best.
How's that?
Yeah, that's great.
It's open down to
I love
my
it,
loins.
yeah.
I'm not wearing any pants, by the way.
No, we never do. It's not standard. That's not Pressure Point standard. Thank you very much.
It's against the company policy.
Yeah, it is. We are also...
I hit the table, sorry.
We got to do a cheers.
Here, bring your microphone to the middle.
Yeah.
Ooh, that sounded
a good one.
crisp.
We have Sweet Tea's
Special serum.
honey wheat serum. So we're going to be drinking that tonight.
He said, hey, let me know if it's skunked. It's either skunked or gotten way better, so let me know.
We'll drink it, and if you have to spit it out, do it directly into the microphone.
Yeah, of course.
It's a little skunky, but not bad.
No, I think that's
still
a
pretty good.
mature skunk. I think that's good.
It's a nice aged skunk.
I
No, it's good. It's still really good.
You always say things are skunky before I can ever detect it. I think this tastes great.
I'm also a slut for like ice cold beer.
Well, I'm sorry. Go get ice then. We'll pour it over ice.
No, not that kind
Oh.
of iced. But yeah, it's still really fucking
I think it's good. It's got some
bad.
depth.
That is tasty. That's a good one. So, how was your week, my friend, my fellow host?
Did I do anything this week? Like,
It's a very D-esque week for you.
yeah, just did homework. I did really good on my cardiovascular rhythm assessment
Nice.
test. It was really weird because it was assessing rhythms, but they didn't have any images,
Oh.
which is shit. But I did really well on that and played some D&D.
Yeah, that's right.
Some D&D.
AJ survived. He survived his first round of combat ever, even though he's gone through 2 rounds of combat
Up to this point.
up
Yep.
to that point. It was a lot of fun. We're playing the Curse of Strahd storyline, which is like, I think 4 sessions. I'm not sure. But yeah, we threw some characters together, played, and it was a fucking grand old time. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
I wasn't even drinking yet.
yeah. None of us got drunk, and we're planning on doing it again and drinking and hosting right here, not in the studio, but
Not in the stank studio.
in my front room. So
Hell yeah.
it's been a good little weekend, man. That's for sure.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
I had a successful and enjoyable dinner with my parents.
Yeah, that was the craziest
Where's the
thing.
applause sound effect on here? Yeah. Woo, yeah. The in-studio audience is thrilled.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were like, "Hey, we want to take you out for your day of birth." And I was like, oh, "God damn it, okay. We'll get through this and then I'll see them next Sunday, whatever. We'll get this shit done." We went to dinner, and originally I proposed, "Hey, we'll go to this seafood place." My mom was like,
Yeah, in Utah.
"Nah,
The epitome
it's-
of seafood.
it's still good. Like
We're a landlocked state.
it's still good."
I know, I'm just giving you
But my mom was like, "Oh, your dad, he's not a big seafood guy." I was like, "Okay, what about this place?" And it's a martini bar, but it's a bistro. And I was like, "What about that?" Because I've been there and it's really good.
Did you order just drink after drink
No,
and get
so
destroyed?
we went. I proposed it, and she was like, "I don't know if your dad will like how fancy it is. He's kind of a steak and potatoes guy," which is very true.
Fair enough.
He's from the middle of fucking nowhere, and he's had like $6 in his savings account his whole life. So I don't blame him for being like, most of these look like salads, D. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, what about this brewery? And my mom responded and was like, "Are you trying to get us drunk?" And I was like, "Maybe. Who knows?" But no, I told her, I was like, it has phenomenal food.
Dude, breweries
Let's do
have
it.
really good food.
They always do. And she was like, "I'll take your word for it. Sounds good." We went over there, had a phenomenal time. They told us about their trip to Cancun that was paid for by their fucking like credit card company. They got a shit ton of Sky Miles. They were like, "Yeah, we'll go." So yeah, it was really good. It was a good time. So things are on the up and up for young D.
Dang.
So it's been a successful
there's
weekend.
turned a little corner, maybe.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows where we go from here?
Maybe they wanted you to get them drunk.
We'll find. Yeah, I know, right? I doubt it. But we'll find out next weekend when I return from the family party. So
Ooh, family party next weekend?
yeah, next Sunday
What's the
we'll
address?
be recording after. I'm not gonna say because I don't trust all of our fans.
Wait, so we're recording after the party? Your party on
because
Sunday?
they always do it early.
I don't know when I'm going to be back.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It'll come out at the same time for you guys.
Yeah, you guys will get it at 3 a.m. on Monday anyway.
Yeah, whether
so-
we recorded at 2 a.m. or...
right. Also, in like 2 weeks, Saturday the 28th at 12, or so, we're going to do, I'm going to say 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
You're
for
committing.
those of you who are in Norway.
Saturday the what?
The 28th. Keep an eye out. We will be
I hope I don't have a clinical.
fucking live. You shouldn't, because it'll be a week after your current clinical. And you don't have them back-to-back weeks, right?
Not usually, yeah.
Sweet. And if you do, then we'll
figure it
update it
out.
last second. Yeah. Or sorry, Saturday the 29th. Saturday, October 29th, 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We'll be going live. We might not be starting for a little bit after that. We might be live at 12:30. Who fucking knows? But around that time, keep an eye out. We are trying to do a bit of an extravaganza that day.
Yeah, we should have some food.
Yeah,
for
I
the
know.
guests.
We'll have
And
some food
we should
and
make
drinks.
make a show of it. You
It'll
know?
be a grand little,
Guests,
hopefully a couple hours,
spooks.
grand old time. So tune in. If you don't,
Hey Ma,
if you
want
aren't
to join?
subscribed to us on YouTube, go subscribe now.
You get a little alert.
You'll get a
maybe.
notification. Yeah,
I don't really know how it works.
and go listen to and like all of our videos on YouTube.
Yeah, and leave comments on every single one. It's just, hey, great job.
Wow, fantastic! Do that
Yeah,
right now as you're listening to this episode.
with all your different emails.
As you're listening to this episode on YouTube, I hope. So, now that we're all caught up.
So you brought me back to Chile.
Yeah, we're going back to Chile. So, a couple weeks ago, we discussed the life and legend of Lautaro.
The Badass, I believe, was his official title.
Yes, he was the Mapuche tribe member. He ended up becoming Toki, and he took revenge on the Spaniards in the late 1500s, well, mid-1500s in Chile. So, he, unfortunately, where we left off, had tragically died trying to take back the city of Santiago, and the Spaniards had just been told of the location of the Mapuche tribe. Now, this group of Spaniards was being led by Garcia Hurtado de Mendoza.
Boo!
Yeah, boo, fuck this guy. However, Mendoza, he was held in high regard in Chile because he was willing to work with the indigenous people.
Oh, that's rare.
Yeah, I know. He would attempt to have like policies of goodwill with tribes. Like he wouldn't show up and just put his foot down and fucking kill everybody.
You sure this was a Spaniard?
Yeah, I know, right? You wouldn't think so, but surprisingly enough, he was successful with it. He was previously a noble in Spain and joined the conquistadors or whatever and came out this way to South America. Now, like I said, a lot of these indigenous tribes that weren't the Mapuche worked with him. Some of them even joined this guy. Yeah, this is kind of, he was a very well known for not being a piece of shit Spanish leader.
Fair enough.
Now, because of what the Mapuche tribe has gone through and because of their customs, like these guys fucking revel in war. So when they hear that Mendoza is basically working through this way, they see his calm and peaceful demeanor as weak. They're like, oh, this guy doesn't like burn down every fucking village he goes to.
Yeah, he sucks.
Yeah, he's a dumb bitch that doesn't know how to take over a town. Which, I mean, at the time, yeah, that's very fair with what Mapuches have run into previously. They've gotten resistance from every fucking Spaniard that's come in. The Spaniards aren't exactly the like sweetest grandmother-led people.
They didn't show up with gingerbread.
Yeah, like these aren't your standard like, oh yeah, let's make peace and take over the area.
Yeah, which is the standard of colonialism. Let's be nice.
Yeah. So yeah, the Mapuche see this guy as just a pushover. They've taken a handful of different forts already. Yeah, they were thwarted at the last one. But
like, one loss doesn't
one
mean
loss,
you lose the war.
Exactly. However, their numbers are really dwindling because of all of the 2 or 3 losses that they had back to back.
Yeah, that sucks.
Their numbers are kind of starting to dwindle out. And this is like April 1557. 300 years later.
1857. Damn, they've been fighting for a long time.
Right? So the Spaniards and Mendoza, well, the Spaniards basically tell Mendoza, look, the Mapuche see you as this weak leader. Like, they're going to try to capitalize on this because you don't have all of this experience in battles, which you wouldn't because you
were noble and now you're
doing
trying to
a good
appeasement.
fucking job working with the indigenous tribes. So
I forgot I took off my shirt.
Yeah, you're like,
I looked down,
it's
like,
brisk.
what the hell?
So Mendoza hears about this and he changes his strategy. Now, he didn't just start storming in and destroying towns. Instead, what he's doing is he's taking the towns that he's already taken over, that he has these tribes people that are willing to work with him, and he says, we're going to turn you into a fort. We're going to build up your defenses, and we're just going to build all these little forts around the Mapuche tribe and kind of block them in.
Choking them out.
Yeah.
A little.
So, yeah, he does exactly that, doubles down on his defense, and they just focus everything into building up everything that the Mapuche have either taken previously and they got back, or revitalizing these little tribes. I would love to, but it will.
You're gonna choke on a peanut. I know.
Yeah, it'll be.
They're there.
I'll eat a bunch of them after.
No, you won't.
No, I won't. So the Mapuche hear about this, and they kind of see this happen over the course of like 6 months. These tiny tribes before that they knew were working with him are suddenly they have 8-foot walls.
An army,
Yeah, they have 8-foot walls and archer holes, and they're like, "What the fuck is this?" Mm-hmm. So the Mapuche would attempt to attack while they were building these forts.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And they couldn't win. They just couldn't get everything together because the guy who's originally put everything together and kind of would organize their guerrilla assault, he's dead now.
Yeah, so
Laftaru's gone.
So they lost a lot of the strategy and the knowledge of how the Spaniards were working.
Yeah.
To me, when I was, thinking about the story, I was like, so like having somebody who knows exactly how they think militarily and what they do, like their strategies, makes it really easy to adapt to those.
Yeah.
And if you don't know that, that's gone now.
Exactly. And it's like, if just his presence on the battlefield is enough to stop the Spaniards. Like, just him seeing how they form, he's like, okay, adapt this way. We'll do this instead.
Let's do this. Yeah.
And that's why he was so successful. It's just unfortunate that his numbers got so low and he was still wanting to push into Santiago. I think if he waited like maybe like a few more months, a year, the Mapuche tribe would have stopped the Spaniards wholeheartedly. Like, fully
they were
believe
close.
that.
They were so close.
I mean, they were taking forts from people that had
guns and horses
and these guys
armor.
just have fucking clubs. It was like it was
helmets.
astonishing.
No, they were doing
and I'm sure Spain was fucking scared of them.
Well, how long would it even take to send a message back? Hey, we're getting our ass beat.
Yeah.
What is that, like a 4-month trip or something on ship? Like that'll take forever to communicate the losses.
Regardless, the Mapuches were making waves in Spain just by what they were doing. So now they're attacking these forts. They can't seem to just win. They can't take back forts. They're not taking anything over. They're sending people in. They're getting captured, killed, whatever. And in October, Mendoza decided to take his army of 500 Spaniards and 1,000 indigenous tribesmen.
That's a big army.
Yeah, that's a huge army, but you have double the tribesmen fighting for you than you do Spaniards.
Yeah.
This is how good of a politician Mendoza was. It speaks volumes to his
charisma,
what he
policies.
did. Yeah. Mind you, not a great guy.
No, still an invader.
Yeah, they take these 1,500 men into Lagunitas, and Mendoza sends some troops forward to check out the next day's march. So he sets up camp at the edge of this shallow lake, and over the course of this year, the weather has just been a clusterfuck. Like previously, yeah, I mean, you're in South America, so you've got a lot of rain, but this year specifically has been extra rainy. Like on their way to Lagunitas, they're like, normally they would just ford this river, but they're having to take rafts that they're like tying to get makeshift, throw it together from a couple chopped up trees, rafts to get across these raging rivers now. So they get across this river. They're like, holy shit, what a fucking day. Let's set up camp. We're on the edge of this lake, which if all else fails, we can fight in it, but maybe we can figure something out with it. Like they know that they're not going to get attacked from the lake, So,
and if the lake attacks them, they could just drain it.
Yeah, the lake just has a bunch of little straws.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, previously they have drained lakes, so they know that this is standard practice. Good callback. Look at
I
you
love
go.
that story.
I'm impressed.
That one's great. I loved it.
It really, really is a good one.
So crazy.
So they set up camp. He sends this like group of, I think it's like 50 or so men, 70 men. He sends 70 men further south, to go make sure that their walk tomorrow isn't going to be a pain in the ass like it was the day before.
Yeah.
And he fucking kicks his feet up. He's like, holy shit, what a day. And the group that had been sent forward, or no, he didn't send 70 here. He just sent like, I think it was like
Just
50. Yeah, it was
small forward
really,
group.
really small group. Enough to like cover their asses if they were attacked.
Yeah.
So they get far enough south away that Mendoza can't hear everything that's going on, but they get ambushed by a Mapuche, like 50 or so Mapuche tribespeople, or warriors, I should say, that they have a handful block their path, and then a bunch jump out of the forest. This is just the Mapuche go-to.
Oh, yeah. That's
block
guerrilla
their path.
warfare 101.
Yeah, flank out of the jungle. So they get ambushed. They send somebody back. They're like, holy shit, like somebody needs to tell them that they're going to fuck us up tonight. This isn't a tomorrow morning kind of thing. So this scout is on his way back, but this is a few miles. Like,
Yeah, it takes time.
yeah, it's going to take a minute. And I keep losing my place in my notes. I need to stop not scrolling. So back at camp, they have no idea what's happened. And these two boys, they head out into the jungle, into the forest to look for fruit and some firewood and just kind of scavenge whatever. And as soon as they get far enough into the forest, they run into hundreds of Mapuche just waiting for the
Hell
fucking
yeah.
signal. And
Hell
these two
yeah.
kids, they have a handful of fucking berries, and their jaws drop, and one of them manages to escape. He turns tail, fucking runs.
He probably trips the other one.
Yeah.
And just runs.
He just throws a banana peel in front of him, one that he just finished eating.
Yeah. Plantain. Plantain
Yeah,
peel.
a plantain peel. So he just books it out of there. The other one just fucking slaughtered.
Oh, yeah.
And so Mendoza, while these boys were out in the forest, gets word. The scout arrives and says, hey, some shit just went down to the south. We're getting attacked by the Mapuche. So Mendoza's like, oh, my God. Send 70 dudes out, 20 of which are on horses. Send them south. We'll clear them up. We'll be fine. And then the guy's like, okay, but like expect something else to happen. And just after these 70 troops leave, this kid comes out of the woods. And he's like, they're fucking Mapuche out there. Look, we're going to get ambushed. And
It was a fucking ambush.
Yeah, it was a fucking ambush. So Mendoza turns and he's like, fuck, dude, like they're splitting us up. Like this is genius. So Mendoza, just as quickly as he can, gets everybody in a defensive position. He's like, I don't know how the fuck we're going to survive this, but let's do our best to survive. Mind you, they do have well over 1,000 men still. Mm-hmm. And just right as soon as the Spaniards get set up in defensive positions, all of these Mapuche rush out of the jungle. And without Leftraru's leadership, it leaves the Mapuche basically in shambles. Like this is by far the most that was me.
Okay.
It's the most chaotic and unorganized attempt at an ambush, at killing Spaniards. Like it's just, this battle is an absolute clusterfuck.
Well, it's even like unlucky to the fact that if those kids didn't find them, like if that guy didn't make it back
Yeah.
to warn them, they wouldn't be set up in any kind of defensive
Exactly.
position. And it may have gone a different way, like,
Yeah, there is a good chance that they would have done really well,
or at least just more damage.
yeah. But basically, this battle doesn't last all that long, and it ends up the Mapuche get driven into the marshy lake. Like they get defended and kind of surrounded in like a crescent and
So they can't even
out.
run away because the water.
Exactly. Like you're waist high in mud and chest
dead.
deep in water.
Like you can't do
you're
anything.
completely
You're dead.
fucked. So it's unfortunate that Mendoza, he got word just in time. It's like you said, his defenses aren't up. This is a totally different story.
Yeah,
Leftraru's alive, completely different story.
Oh, totally.
They probably wouldn't even have had this battle. Mind you, I also think that the Mapuche, there is a good chance that they did not account for the Spaniards taking as long to get here as they did. Because, like, this is a fucking nighttime battle. Mm-hmm. My guess is that they've been in that forest waiting. They're exhausted. And there's a good chance that as soon as they arrived, they were just like, fuck, like, we need to wake up. We need to go.
Well, there's also the aspect of, they lost their leader, fairly recently. Like, there may be some feeling of, like, desperation almost, where it's, we have to do something. Like, we're no longer at the point where we can rely on this one person, so let's just do it. Let's do something. Like, we need to keep winning. We need to keep going.
Yeah, and
I
mean,
that leads to hasty decisions that get you killed.
On top of that, they're losing to somebody that all of the Mapuche consider
they
weak.
didn't deem a threat at all.
Mm-hmm.
So
And they're not succeeding against
false
him whatsoever.
bravado at the same time.
Yeah.
Could have said, well, yeah, they have, over 1,000 people, 1,500 warriors or whatever. But, he's probably going to run away.
Total mess. So they get absolutely fucked in this battle.
Yeah.
Mind you, they didn't have a lot of people. There were like 500 total Mapuche. 300 get killed.
Dang,
150.
that is a lot.
Yeah, 150 are taken as prisoners. So
50 survive-ish.
Yeah, and plus they're the handful at like the front,
ambush
like
camp
south
and
that,
wherever else. Yeah.
That either survived or escaped. So survivors run into the jungle, barely escape with their lives, and the remaining prisoners are taken. And Mendoza's thing with prisoners was to take their nose and the right hand. And I know, what was his name? Valdivia, his was to take both hands and both feet and leave them to bleed out, right? Mm-hmm. So, Mendoza would take their right hand, because that was generally your sword hand, and he would take their nose so that it's like very obvious.
Visually, it's carving a swastika in the forehead.
Yeah.
Visual.
And he would send them back home and say, hey, they tried to stand up against, like, he would call them, like, insurrectionists, basically, and said, hey, Spain runs the Chile area. This is why you don't stand up to us.
Yeah, it makes it both, they're no longer valuable as a warrior, but it's also a warning to anybody else.
Exactly. So they get these 150 men. Sorry, excuse me. And they start bringing them up to this chopping block. Cut off their arm or their hand, cut off their nose. And there's a Toki that is among the group that they find, and they kind of make a spectacle. They round everybody up to watch as they pick Galvarino, walk him up to the chopping block, and he puts his left hand on the chopping block. The amputator swings down, cuts off his left hand, and Galvarino reaches up, grabs his left hand, tosses it to the side, and puts his right hand on the chopping block. And the guy this fucking axe man looks around. He's like, what the fuck? Okay. Swings down, chops off Galvarino's right hand. Galvarino puts his head down on the chopping block. And just as he puts his head down, everybody's watching, and a lot of the Mapuche are like, yo, like, this is our, like, he's going to die in battle. He's standing for Mapuche. He's not going to go back and just bitch and moan and give in. Mm. And Mendoza sees this and steps in and says, no, don't kill him. Because what he's doing is a power move.
Yeah, he's martyring himself.
Mm-hmm.
He's giving them a reason to fight.
Exactly.
He's giving them a symbol.
Yeah. They all
Which
say,
is, by the
we're
way,
fighting,
genius,
we're fighting under Galvarino, like the man that fucking stood up against the Spaniards. Mm-hmm. Like, he forced them to take a prisoner's life. Fuck them. So Mendoza stops this, and he says, no. We're sending him back home with no hands, no nose. He's fucking worthless. Like, fuck you, Galvarino. You're not gonna win this battle. No, forget about it. So, they ship Galvarino home along with the other prisoners, and sending a Toki home without any hands is an even ballsier move than just sending him home with one hand. Because it's like, yeah, he could have fought with the left hand. He probably would have as a Mapuche, but you're taking somebody that has basically like a captain on the battlefield, and you're sending him back and saying, hey, now he's fucking worthless in battle.
Well, not just in battle, but
how do you eat?
How do you eat? If he stays alive, he's a drain of resources for whatever village he's in.
You're sending him back, and you're saying
somebody's going to have to care for you. Somebody's going to have to wipe your ass and feed you.
Yeah,
like, you can't even contribute to society anymore.
Exactly. So you send him back, and you're saying, hey, we didn't kill him, but in a month, when he does die, we're the ones responsible for it. It is a fucking big dick move.
Yeah, it's either you keep him alive and waste your time and resources with that, or you exile him or kill him. Either way, we win. Like, it's really fucked up.
It's completely fucked. But it's clever on Mendoza's
It's a strategy. It's a very clever strategy.
So, Galvarino gets back, and he arrives. They have half the hands in the 150 prisoners they had before. And Galvarino's first stop, after he's fucking seared his stumps, is he goes to a blacksmith.
And he builds a prosthetic articulating hand.
Yeah. No, way cooler. He says, I want you to tie 2 swords to my arms.
Hell yeah.
And this blacksmith is like, what? And so they fashion
it was like,
swords.
Get some metal brackets.
They fucking measure everything out. He goes and gets his wounds tended. And Galvarino, instead of just rolling over and saying, yeah, you know, like, I'm a fucking resource dump, like, I'm just wasted, he says, no, I'm going back, and I'm fucking taking every single person with me that I run into with my 2 fucking sword arms.
Sword arms. Yeah, so they kind of made him into a martyr anyway.
Yeah.
Because
a huge martyr.
Because now he's a physical representation of, yeah, I was defeated. Yeah, they fucking maimed me. I'm still gonna fucking kill him.
Fuck
like
them.
That's
I'm taking back what they took.
They're like really interesting decisions on both sides.
The Mapuche
like,
are fucking bonkers.
Yeah,
and the more I read about
badass.
it, I'm like, holy shit, these guys don't fuck around.
No, not at all.
So, he has it planned to have swords attached to his arms, and over the next month, they tend his arms, they feed him, they get him back to fucking ready level, and during this time, Galvarino is recruiting like a motherfucker.
I mean, that's a good recruit.
Yeah, you show up to somebody's fucking hut and you cut the door off with both hands.
With your hand swords?
Yeah, you cut a hole in the door, just... They're going to fucking join.
Yeah.
So, on November 29th...
all of those prisoners should get a sword arm.
Yeah, for real.
How bad like, I'm just imagining
just
that.
a team of men
just
with
a
fucking
team
sword arms.
Of, like, short sword arm dudes.
Yeah, just
like,
running.
Oh, yeah,
battle.
you were a prisoner, you got captured? Okay. Let's do it again.
Round them up and strap a sword on their nub.
That's badass.
It's
They should have done
fucking
that.
Cool. So, Galvarino ends up, he recruits as many dudes as he can. And on the 29th of November, 1557, he stands in front of the army that he's built, and he says, my brothers, see that you all fight very well. You do not want to be as I am without hands, so you will not be able to work or not eat if you do not give it to them. He raises his 2 swords up in the air and shouts, nobody is allowed to flee but to die. Because you die defending your mother country, I would die first, and though I no longer have hands, I will do what I can with my teeth. My brothers, why have you stopped attacking these Christians? Seeing the manifest damage that from the day which they entered our kingdom until today, they have done and are doing. And still, they will do to you what you see that they have done to me. Cut your hands off if you are not diligent in making the most of wreaking destruction on these so injurious people for us and our children and women. And on the 30th of November, Galvarino and 3,000 men jump out of the trees at dawn.
Damn, that's a lot of dudes.
That is a fuck ton.
That makes me want to go kill the Christians.
Yeah, that makes me want to lose both arms. Psych. So, 3,000 men strong. The Mapuche circle one of the nearest camps that Mendoza is running. And on November 30th, it's a holiday for Spain. This is the day of San Andres. Day of San Andreas.
Oh, yeah.
Day of
It's the
GTA
release.
San Andreas. Yeah.
Release date. So they were all home playing Xbox.
Yeah,
just original Xbox.
OG Xbox and PS2, baby. So all these guys, all these Spaniards are planning on just having a kickback, chill, nice little holiday, doing their thing. And normally what would happen is at dawn, the trumpets would play like an extra special little holiday tune. But this time, the trumpets are sounding an alarm, and it catches everybody off guard. Everybody wakes up like, why the fuck? Like, that's not the San Andreas theme song, baby. The San Andreas theme song. So these dudes wake up, and they just start grabbing their weapons, getting ready to go, but completely confused as to what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
Because only a small team of Mapuche have really attacked at this point.
They're like, this is a work holiday.
Yeah, right.
What the fuck? Why would I be called in on a work holiday?
So they all get to their posts, and the 3,000 Mapuche jump out of the trees and ambush the fuck out of the Spaniards. Now, this battle starts at dawn, and it lasts well into the afternoon. Like, this shit is
now,
not...
that's a lot of dudes,
This is not standard. This is a big fucking battle. I'm pretty sure this is the second biggest battle during this whole thing. Before, Leftraru had like a team of 8,000, I want to say, and that was the biggest that the Mapuche were. So this is the second largest Mapuche attack that's happened, and it goes on for forever. Galvarino is fucking slaughtering dudes left and right. He's running in with both hands forward, stabbing people in the chest. He's just
imagine being one of those warriors. You got a club or whatever it is. Dude, have you seen those clubs that they had?
No.
Like,
I'm
badass.
sure they're cool as hell.
All of the weaponry that they had were badass looking.
I love tribal weaponry.
Oh my god,
it's so sick.
So cool. So they're just beating the shit out of these dudes, and then they're like, "Oh, damn, I'm getting tired." And they look over, and there's a dude with 2 sword arms splitting a dude in half, like chopping the head off a horse as it's charging him.
Yeah,
and shit
dude.
like that happening, and you're like,
It's
okay, I can
fucking
keep going.
crazy.
I can keep going for a couple more hours.
Like,
if this guy can do it, let's do this.
This is some Mortal Kombat level shit,
Yeah.
man. Like, he's just doing fatality left and right. Like you said, chopping dudes in half, taking people's fucking arms off with a quick swing. He has had a month to learn how to use these new weapons, and I'm sure he's using them very fucking well.
Yeah.
So, imagine being a Spaniard, too. Like,
That's even more terrifying.
Imagine being the guy that cut off his hands. You're just, like, chilling. You're looking for people to shoot with your fancy little gun and in your iron sights. You see that son of a bitch that was like, kill me, do it. And you're like, we should have fucking killed him, as he cuts
shit.
like 6 dudes in half. Totally
He shoots
bonkers.
him, he blocks it with the
Fucking
sword.
reflects it back at him.
Yeah,
Ricochets it
right
into the
into
guy's
the forehead.
face. So, yeah, this shit goes on for like 6 hours. This is a big-ass battle for this fort. And unfortunately, it ends with 3,000 dead Mapuche.
Damn.
Yeah. There are, 2,200 die in battle, 800 are taken prisoner, and all 800 are killed. Any leaders that they find are hanged. Mendoza is like, no, we're not going to make the same mistake
Yeah,
we
we
made
ain't
last
fucking around
time.
again.
And Galvarino is one of these men that they find.
Ah, damn.
He's taken captive. But imagine, out of 3,000 people, he still fucking survived.
Yeah, that's still...
Like, this dude was a force to be reckoned with. Can you imagine Galvarino and Leftraru? Like, he would be his secret weapon. He'd be like, you're gonna come out of the trees from behind and just cut everybody's Achilles heel.
Yeah, you're the psychological warfare part. I'm the strategy.
He's like, I only need an army of 2 men, me
Yeah.
and Galvarino. So Mendoza is looking over the prisoners. He's figuring out who the leaders are, and he sees Galvarino. And he looks at him, looks him in the eyes, and he says, all of the other leaders hang. This one, throw him to the dogs. Because he fucking spit in Mendoza's face. Mendoza was trying to make a statement out of him, and he came back, and he did quite the fucking opposite. Like, this is just
and, if you then
total slap in the
hang
face.
him, which hanging is always a statement,
Yeah.
you are now martyring him again. Oh, he survived all this fighting?
No, we're
and then
still
was
going to
hanged
treat him
for
like one of
us?
the leaders, and he says no. Just feed him to
he
the
didn't. He
fucking
didn't want to make
dogs.
that mistake again.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, Galvarino dies as well in this battle. Both of these incredible leaders in the Mapuche tribe both died in 1857, and it sucks.
That does suck.
But they left us with 2 really fucking good ass stories to talk about.
Inspiration for what happens when the world, declines.
Dude, big time.
I'm ready.
So yeah, fucking
Amazing.
the second Mapuche legend, and there are, as I'm reading, there are even more. Like,
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm
sure you could just keep going.
I'm sure there are tons of tribes people down in South America in the 1500s that are just phenomenal. So I will be definitely looking into these. You can talk about World War II.
Yeah.
And I'll talk
You're
about
gonna-
Yugoslavia and
South America.
South America.
Yeah.
So,
I think this is such not only an interesting topic, but an important topic.
Yeah.
At least in the United States, our healthcare system. Well, our healthcare system. Sorry, I was doing
if
homework.
you were to lose both arms now,
I was doing.
you'd be
yeah.
done for.
No, I was doing homework before this. Our educational system sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Like what they teach about the conquistadors is they came over,
They took San Diego.
they
left.
they fought a little bit, and then they accidentally let smallpox out. And then it wasn't their fault, but like everyone's dead, so they may as well take the resources, and then they left. Which is not at all true. They totally knowingly weaponized smallpox and did this shit. And all the history that is taught in this era is
It's
just
just
that
so
the
glazed
indigenous
over.
people just fell
Rolled
over.
o- rolled
They
over and took it, but
they were
it's
just
like-
slaughtered, or they just rolled over. And it's not true.
Not
Like
at all.
they fought back.
Yeah.
They were successful in a lot of areas and at a lot of times. Like, oh, it's crazy. Like, so I'm glad you're talking about it because I think it's an important topic. And I don't know how the education system really works in other parts of the world, but I assume we learn about it in school because it's on our continent.
Yeah.
It
Even then, like, we didn't touch.
like I didn't learn anything about
nearly
Russian
anything,
history
yeah.
in school. I had to learn about that later.
We didn't even really go over South American history. We did a little bit when I was 10.
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
like, hey, look at these cool Mayans, and we're going to talk a tiny bit about the Aztecs to kind of pique your interest in history. And then it was like, okay, but we're not going to talk about South America because that's a touchy subject.
Yeah, we're not
since
gonna-
Brazil just barely got their independence. It was
Well,
like, what the
and-
fuck?
Yeah, and their current political shit that's going
Yeah,
on
it's
is
just a
crazy.
mess.
Heart goes out to them, but like, it's so important to talk about. Like there was so much that was lost during that time period, and if the myth that continues to be perpetuated in at least American society, I can't speak for anywhere else, that they were just pushovers.
Yeah.
That's like, it makes so much more sense when you see in the news, oh, indigenous tribe wins lawsuit against oil company or whatever the fuck it is, and you see the picture and they're in their indigenous outfits and they have the makeup and they're in a courtroom. Like, it makes it so much more badass to understand where they're coming from, the hundreds and hundreds of years that they have been standing up.
Yeah.
Like,
That
it makes it so much crazier.
That they, as a tribe, held up against people that had technology that was so much more advanced than what they had, and they stayed around.
Yeah, like they're still here.
It is astounding.
It's badass. Yeah.
It's cool shit, and
It makes
I'm
me
excited to
it makes
go a
me
little
real
bit
sad
more.
that my ancestors were probably like Nazis or something. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, just a fucking typical white piece of shit.
Exactly. Like,
Yay, that's us.
yay.
Oh man, well, you got Patreon pulled up?
Nope.
R.I.P.
We're closing. No.
Yeah, right.
All right. So patreon.com/pointsopressure. If you want an extra bonus full episode, if you want a bunch of small rambling topics, we've done a couple videos on there, a little studio tour,
some good
all that
stuff.
fun stuff. We'll do a bathrobe reveal at 20.
Yeah, and we'll have our fourth Patreon exclusive episode up this month too.
Yep.
And yeah, so watch out for those.
And yeah, so of course, the people who make all the decisions around here, the board, we have Mini D, Nordic Thunder, and Toddle Waddle. Thank you guys so much for,
Seriously.
going the extra mile. Seriously, like,
Couldn't do it
you're
without
crazy.
you guys. It's fucking wild every time. Every month when we get those payments, it's like, what the fuck? Thank
It's like,
you.
yeah,
guys
we can pay
so,
the bills.
so
We
much.
can, oh, hell yeah. And then, of course, we've got Abby, AJ's Third Nut, Haley, Thomas, Dark Runner, D's Nuts, and Laura Revo. Thank you guys so much.
Holy
and
shit, yeah.
Yeah, it's
and
crazy.
You guys as well. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, of course.
for-
yeah,
for
everybody's
supporting
contributing,
us.
keeping the lights on. You guys just don't make as many decisions.
Yeah. You guys just don't decide what every episode's on.
Yeah, exactly.
And like I said, keep an eye out on October 28th for our live stream. 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Make the conversions because I don't know where the fuck you live, so I can't tell you your time. If you want help figuring that out, reach out to us on Instagram and Twitter at @PointsOPressure. And as always, reach out if you have any show recommendations, TV, movies, books, music, whatever. If you just need somebody to talk to, reach out to us there as well, and we will catch you guys next Monday.